Hello, everybody, and welcome to School Spirit. I am so grateful that you are taking the time out of your day. I don't care if you are live here today, if you are watching a YouTube of this, or maybe a friend shared it with you, because what I believe from my heart is that if we do not focus on the wellness of education, of educators, if we do not make it important that we preserve our educators, not retain, because retention means you just there, right? But preserve the educator, preserve their spirit, preserve their heart, then what are we doing? Because I don't know about you, but when I decided to become an educator, it had nothing to do with the politics. It had nothing to do with TBTs. It had nothing to do with, all the mess and things that kind of drain us. When I decided to become a teacher, the reason was because I wanted to make a difference. And I honestly 100% believe that there's something in everybody, each and every person that is powerful, that is, the reason that they've been given a breath and they are amazing and they have greatness in them. And being a teacher was my opportunity to put a little gasoline on that thing, or point it out, or uplift it, or inspire it in a student. So I believe that about teachers. I believe that every single teacher has a special ability, aside of just the content, a special ability to ignite something in a student, to perhaps help them feel seen, perhaps be that shoulder that they can cry on when nobody else was there. But every teacher has that. But what happens when their spirit feels weakened? What happens when we don't nurture the spirit of the teacher? That thing, that very thing that made them say, I want to be a teacher. As we connect today, I want you to think about how your spirit feels, because I don't think it's something we really think about sometimes. Not how does your knees feel, like, oh, my knees. I'm getting up there in age. Not how does my back feel, how does my head feel, not what does the number say on the scale, but how does my spirit feel? So I want you to take a moment. Again, if you're here live, if you're listening to this while you're walking, if you are cleaning up your classroom and somebody sent this link to you and said, girl or man, listen to this. Ask yourself honestly, how does my spirit feel? And take moments in your life, in your day, to say, how does my spirit feel? That part of me that is truly telling me how I feel about being alive, how I feel about my purpose. How is that feeling? A lot of educators are feeling tired. They feel tired of going to all the meetings. They feel tired of the copy machine's not working, and I have some lessons and things that I need to pass out. They have tolerance for nonsense to a certain degree, but the nonsense is getting out of hand. And that's why we need to make sure that we are constantly, daily thinking about refilling that part of us that reminds us of why we are still standing. And we got this beautiful picture of this mountain, and When we think of a mountain, oh my goodness, does it stand through storms? Oh my goodness, doesn't a mountain stand through the changes of the seasons? The mountain watches people try to climb it and conquer it to the top of the peak or head back down to try again. The mountain symbolizes a teacher to me because in our lives, that teacher is still standing as a direction for us, as a presence for us all through our lives. And that's what you're doing too. When I speak of still standing, I'm not talking about the fact that you're just still in the classroom, that you're still signing that contract to come back next year, or that you are still there physically. When I talk about still standing, there's a couple things I want to touch on. One is that educators still stand in the lives of students well after they've left their classroom, and even well after the teacher has passed on. You have teachers that you can still think about who gave you something that's still standing in you. Their lessons that they taught you are still standing. The presence of who they are is still standing, and directing you and guiding you is still standing. On the other side of that, let's talk about you still standing in your purpose. Still standing on the fact that every day, no matter what, you have an opportunity to give something to a child that may still be standing in them when they're 70 years old. That's powerful. You have a chance as an educator to shine a light on a part of a student that they would never have seen. There's a story about a guy who became a drummer, and he said it was his teacher. He kept banging on the desk, and we know sometimes that drives us crazy, but this particular teacher heard all of that banging, and he said, I want to see you after class. And the guy was scared. He thought he was going to get a detention. And actually, what happened was he told him, you have the heart, the rhythm, and the mind of a drummer. And that young man became a drummer. That thing is still standing in you too. That ability to ignite something in a child, something in a student that lives with them the rest of their life will stand with them like that mighty mountain. And that's what we have to focus on as teachers, our purpose, our meaning for who we are and what we do. It is going to be standing well after the students have left the classroom and well after we have even left this earth. So how? These words sound nice, but how do I keep that spiritual resilience going? And remember, when we're talking about spirit, spirituality or your spirit is 1/8 of the wellness dimensions. And we can't leave it out. We think about our physical wellness. We want to work out. We want to eat right. We think about our intellectual wellness, our emotional wellness, that's SEL. But what about the spirit? What about that thing that says, I want to be here to give to the world? I'm excited and I'm happy to be here. We have to nurture and nourish that part of who we are, especially as educators. One thing you can do is remind yourself every day. You can put it in your classroom. Teach because every day is a chance to change a life. Make it a mantra. Make it something you see. I teach every day because teaching is a chance to change a life. Teaching is bigger than data. Teacher is bigger than the meetings. Teaching is bigger than the politics. Teaching is bigger than the tests. Every day that you're in front of those kids, you have a chance to change a life. And the beauty of it is you never know when. You never know when. That thing that you did, you said, that lesson, that smile is the thing that changes someone's life. Number two, protect your peace like you protect your pension, okay? Because we're protecting that pension, all right? Because we're not teaching all these years to not be able to chill once we're done, okay? Protect your peace like you protect your pension. Don't let a lot of mess into your life, because there are people, places, and things that wreak toxicity. And you have to be very careful about letting those people, places, and things in your life. I know sometimes that very thing may be where you work, but you can keep that peace inside of you. And also, when you leave that workplace, you leave all of that there. It's a good idea to have a routine or ritual, whatever you'd like to call it, that is in the place between work and home. Because you don't want to take all that mess with you from work to home. Whether you decide every day between work and home, you got a certain music you listen to when you're driving to pick up the kids or whatever the case may be. You take a little walk, you have a little prayer, you read a little something inspirational, but there needs to be a space of peace between work and home. Lastly, let yourself be a human being. We're all here having a human experience. Your students are, your administrators are, their parents of the students are, and you are. You are super, you are amazing, you are phenomenal, but you don't have to be a superhero. You can be just a human being and still be amazing and still be phenomenal and still be outstanding as you are. I want you to imagine some permission slips. We've all had to pass out permission slips before, right? Permission slip to the zoo, permission slip to the science center or wherever we're going. But on this permission slip that I want you to imagine is permission to rest. I want you to fill it out in your head. If you need to make some real ones, do that. And sign it with your name. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to feel. How about that? I don't have to always be upbeat and everything's okay, but in the inside, my spirit is strained. Permission to feel. Write yourself a permission slip to just ask for some help when you need it. Could you please pick up the kids? Could you help me with this lesson? You're really good at technology and I'm not. Can you give me some help with this? Because I'm really frustrated and I don't know how to do this. Permission to ask for help. And lastly, and this one I still work on, but I'm doing better. It's permission to say no. You can disappoint people. It's okay. I know it's hard. I know it feels so uncomfortable to say no sometimes because you don't want to let people down. But Sometimes when you say yes, you're letting yourself down so much, and you're not giving yourself the rest that you need. You're not giving yourself permission to be human. So these are your permission slips that I want you to use regularly. Don't forget permission to have fun. I love that one too. We wrap up today. I want to just challenge you to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. You are doing an amazing job at being a teacher. And yes, sometimes you may raise your voice when you don't want to, or you may feel like, oh my gosh, this student still doesn't get this. Am I even doing anything to help this child? I know. I get it. Give yourself some grace. Allow your spirit to understand that you're working on being better at things, or practicing being more tolerant or kinder with the way that you deliver your words. But give yourself some grace. I want you to invite someone to this school spirit. Again, whether you come live or not, it doesn't matter to me. I just feel like it is so important that educators nurture and nourish the spirit of who they are, because that's where the desire to become a teacher comes from. For most of us, invite someone, give them a little nugget that you heard, remind them that they're still standing like a mountain, and they'll be still standing in someone's life well after they've gone. And if you continue to need some inspiration, or you want to take a course because you're trying to move up that pay scale, just know professional inspiration is here. And we don't do professional development, honey. We do professional inspiration. Thank you. Thank you so much for being just the pillar of our world. I am so grateful that you decided to be a teacher and that you're still here with those students, giving them the best you got. Thank you. I'll see you next month.